Now American 95, 10 miles out on the ILS.
American 95, Kennedy Tower, following Airbus 319 ahead, 1050.
Hello everybody, welcome aboard. Welcome to Boeing Field in Seattle, Washington. Yeah, there is the Museum of Flight. Really terribly rendered, but hey, there is a Museum of Flight. This is a Boeing 307 Stratoliner. Kind of looks guppy looking, doesn't it? Yep. Kind of guppy-ish. But still a pretty cool looking plane, isn't it? I think it is. Wasn't used a lot, mind you, but I mean, it looks really good. Usually most people recognize the front of this aircraft from its military version. Well, let's get inside. Alright, let's go ahead and power up our 4 right GR-1820-G102A radial engines, 1,100 horses each. Oh, do we have flaps? Yeah. We might need them. Oh, we're deviating. Deviation, Deviation? Okay, that was interesting. Oh, come on, baby. Alright, we're gonna take off, I'm sure of it. Oh, there's a wing. Okay, we are we airborne? We are. Ooh, we're just barely airborne too. Gears up. Gears are up. Alright, we're in the air in our Pan American Airways Systems Boeing 307 Stratoliner. This is the first commercial transport aircraft to enter service with a pressurized cabin, something we take for granted today. This allowed the aircraft to cruise at the wonderful altitude of 20,000 feet or 6,000 meters. That is well above a lot of weather disturbances. Of course, today we cruise much higher than that, but that's alright. That's okay. Alright, retract that. There we go. Settle into a sedate 1,000 foot per second climb. That sounds good. The pressure difference was 2.5 psi or 17 kilopascals. So at 14,700 feet, the cabin altitude was 8,000 feet, which is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. The 307 had the capacity for 5 crew and 33 passengers. This is the first land-based aircraft to include a flight engineer. It was very common for seaplanes to include a flight engineer, very much because they were treated as ships, so you needed a flight engineer. This was the first land-based plane to have that position. In addition, this aircraft cabin is 12 feet wide. Some of you are like, so? Go get into DC-3. That's, you know, what we're talking about here. This was a very wide aircraft to carry people in a degree of comfort. This aircraft was developed in 1935 based on the Model 299. Some of you would know what the Model 299 is. It later became the B-17 Flying Fortress. Then they based the 299 on the Flying Fortress, sorry. And then they called it the 307 when it came out. It combined the wings, tail, rudder, landing gear, and engines from the production B-17 C model with a new circular cross-section fuselage designed to allow that pressurization that we talked about. The first order for 2 of our 307s, or Stratoliners, was placed in 1937 by none other than Pan American Airways. Pan Am increased this to 6, and a second order for 5 from TWA prompted Boeing to begin full production on the aircraft. Then, at the time of the United States entering the war, flying across the ocean was a rare luxury. The war required the ability to do transatlantic flying, and this aircraft had the ability. Now, these were the only U.S.-built commercial aircraft able to cross the Atlantic with a payload until the arrival of the C-54 Skymaster, November 1942. So these aircraft were very important for that ability right there. Now, to convert this to its military DES, which is a C-75, they removed all the pressurization equipment to save weight. They also removed forward reclining seats along the port side, and they altered the two forward Pullman compartments. Yes, Pullman compartments. If you've ever been on an Amtrak Pullman, you'll know what they're like. They're small, but they're comfortable. Space was provided for crew requirements on extremely long flights, and they added extra fuel tanks because, well, you know, extra fuel is good if you're flying over the ocean and you're not a flying boat. They strengthened the landing gear and increased the MTO, or MTO. And then, of course, you know, they painted that ugly military color that nobody likes. Now, the first delivery to a customer, because these aircraft that were destined for Pan Am and TWA were pressed into service, but one was delivered to a customer, and the first delivered to a customer was delivered to none other than Howard Hughes, who bought one 307 for what he was planning a round-the-world flight. He was hoping to break his own record. His Stratoliner was fitted with extra fuel tanks and was ready to set out on the first leg of his attempt when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. So he was like, I can't go around the world, so let me remove my extra fuel tanks, put on some Wright R2600 engines, and make myself a luxurious flying penthouse. I would have loved to fly on that. That would have been amazing. The Army returned its 5 C-75s to TWA in 1944. They sent them back to Boeing because, well, these planes have been beaten up while they were flying. They were military aircraft. They were flown hard. Boeing said, yeah, okay, well, we got to do something about this. So they started by replacing the wings and horizontal tail with those from a B-17G model. Then they took the more powerful engines and electrical system out of a B-29 and slapped it on our 307. This allowed increased passenger capacity up to 38. It gave the aircraft a different attitude than it had pre-war with the C model. So really the evolution of bombers translated into the evolution of this aircraft. Now, this aircraft didn't last very long. There were only a few made. In fact, it's very rare that you would find much information about these aircraft because the production run was so short, at least in the civilian sector. There were plenty of military-styled ones built. We're going to try to make this landing. This is a high G land, or a high energy landing, but hey, whatever, right? Our maximum speed was 241 miles per hour. That's 388 kilometers an hour. And she had a range of 1,752 miles. That is 2,820 kilometers. Could land in SeaTac. Nah. Ooh, Mount Rainier's out today. Okay, I think we're going for, where's that? There's the runway. It's like, where's the runway? All right, while we're attempting not to kill ourselves, let's go to our controls here. 1, there's our main panel. 2, there's our radio controls. 3, there's a nice GPS. That is engines, and that's it. That's all we got. Woohoo! Oh, look at that. That's pretty. All right, I don't know if we're actually going to make this, but we're going to try anyway. Because, you know, why not? Come on, baby. You can go down. Woo! I love a lot of aircraft of the era had these kind of yokes on them instead of the standard ones we have today. I really think that's amazing. I love the wooden wheels. Like you were really driving the plane. Come on. I think we might have to do a go round. Because this thing is booking. Okay, we're on the ground at over 100 miles an hour. She's well, we're probably going to crash into an office complex because there's no way I can get this thing back in the air. Oh, baby, you're going to hit that and we're going to die. Yep. Oh, goodness. And we're back on board. Well, that went well, didn't it? Of course it did. Is this plane the prettiest of its era? No. Is it the prettiest model? Probably not, but here's the thing. The next model of Boeing's aircraft, we're going to shut her down. There we go. And open up the door if we can. The next model of Boeing's aircraft, which was the Stratocruiser, I think, is the Boeing 399, is a very different aircraft than this. This aircraft, we did the Boeing 209 way back many years ago, and this is the evolution of that aircraft. And then it unfortunately came about at a time period when World War II interrupted its production. It might have had a great production run, but we'll never know. It really only served with a very, very few airlines, and for a very short amount of time before it was replaced, as new aircraft were coming out after World War II that had all of the tech of World War II. Still, a great aircraft to add to your fleet if you need a whole fleet of Boeing aircraft, and who doesn't need a whole fleet of Boeing aircraft? Until next time, I've been DerTebbers. It's been your Flight Simulator X Plane Spotlight, the Boeing 309 Stratoliner. Link is in the description as always. Game on and be awesome, everybody.
Level 1283, Kennedy Tower. Greetings. Falling heavy Boeing 767 touching down. Caution wake turbulence from 05012, number 2, 4 right, 7 left.
Going in 4 right, 1283, copy all.
8 Lima Bravo, traffic just north of the airport, opposite direction along the track routing. A helicopter not under defeat, yes, you in sight.